take a second to look around. I can feel the smiles, let me break it down. Take it up with computer love. FutureLand, the plug, hit you with a buzz.
Awesome and amazing day, you all. It's your girl, Nikki B here.
And it's just Joseph.
Oh my gosh, right here, FutureLand365, WOVU 95.9.
And we just had another mother and son duo, Jowan and Trayvon, and they brought it, gave a lot of information. You definitely want to tune in to this podcast.
All right, you all, and welcome to FutureLand 365. It's your girl, Nikki B, in the building.
And it's your boy, Just Joseph.
Yes, Just Joseph, and we're back.
And we're back. And it's time to have some fun today. We got some special guests, and I'm excited they here to tell their story, and we about to learn a little bit. I hope y'all ready. I hope y'all listening in and getting prepared for a good show, because we got something for y'all.
We have something really good for you all. I think this is one of those conversations that everyone at home, family should have, right? Yeah. We're talking about legacy. So truly what we're talking about is ties that inspire. Wow, I like that. That's good, right? That's really good. So building legacy through business and books. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's huge. That's major. I love that. And so who we have on the show today is a mother-son duo.
Yeah.
You all might have seen them out and about at events, helping our young people strive to be their best selves, right? I can't wait for this young lady to share exactly what her story is and why she got started, because she's very passionate, articulate, and powerful.
Wow.
I
like that.
Love her so much.
The excitement is killing me. Let's get into it.
Is it killing you?
Please,
oh my goodness.
Just introduce them already. I'm ready to
all
get
right,
into
you
this.
all. So we have the awesome, the amazing Miss Jowan Smith.
Woo!
Yes.
She's in the building.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. And then we also have her son, Mr. Trayvon Porter.
What up, bruh?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for being here. So today what we're doing is we're going to explore the power of entrepreneurship, family legacy, and inspiring the next generation through business and storytelling.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Sounds
here
like
for it.
a conversation that we had with Perspective Filmworks a little while ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, you all. I'm just going to ask, so Miss Jowan, right? So what is the name of your business and how did this get started?
So I actually have two businesses. So the one that started everything is Getting Our Babies to College 101. Mm-hmm. And then a couple years later, I started 1,000 Ties, which is my nonprofit organization.
Okay.
Very
and
cool.
So you said the Getting Our Babies to College, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that start?
So Getting Our Babies to College 101 started because my daughter wanted to go to college, and someone told her that she couldn't go to college because she had dyslexia. And so as a parent, my goal became, okay, this is the mission. She wants to go to college. Mm-hmm. How do we get there? And we started in middle school with college visits, and she played sports. So I decided, since y'all said her academics weren't good enough, she's going to use these sports to go to college.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so I just learned how the scouting process went, and I started teaching other parents. Mm-hmm. And so the school saw me doing that, and so they started to ask me to come in and, just had a parent's perspective talking to other parents. And I'm like, okay, if they're asking for this might be a thing. Like, this might be a business. And so I pitched it in the Cleveland Leadership Center Accelerate competition, and one of my judges was Eric Gordon. And so I won the education category, and that next week I had a meeting with Eric, and that next week I had a contract. So I always tell people my business had a body, it had legs before it had a body. So I had to kind of create the business because of the need.
Wow. And I love that there, you've seen a need, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it started at home first,
Yes,
right? There was
yes.
a need at home, as well as that there was that chip on the shoulder, like Michael Jordan used to do. Like, oh, you talking about me?
Right, that part.
Let me bust you real quick. With, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what you did, starting that, and you have such a passion. You was like, my baby. You talking about my girl like that?
Yes,
No,
yes.
not too much on my girl.
Yeah, it kind of burnt me up. I've always been an advocate. I've been an active advocate with school districts since we moved back from Florida, and so I not only fight for mine, I fight for everybody else. So if it's something that I don't see and it's right, you know, we got to figure out how to fix it. You know, you can't see a problem and just complain about it. You got to find actionable, you know, results to be able to change that thing. And so that's what I did.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Kudos to you. I love that so much. And let's pivot into, well, that's a perfect segue actually into 1,000 Ties. Like, how did that get started?
So 1,000 Ties started for me watching my son teach himself how to tie on YouTube. And so
is that the son that we have here today?
Yes, that is Trey. That is Trey. He was always a different type of young man. He wanted to, in middle school, he wanted to wear a tie. And so as a single mom, I didn't know how to teach him how to tie a tie. And then I was asking dudes in my neighborhood, like, can you come teach my son? And they looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, so he ended up going on YouTube and taught himself how to tie a tie. Wow. And so it just made me think about all of the other single mothers who are in that same situation and all of the skills that are not being taught to our young men because there aren't men in the household.
Wow. Another problem that this young lady was like, you know what, I'm going to solve this, right? I'm going to figure this out and do some research and do it, right? And show others how to do that. So, Mr. Trayvon, is it safe to say Trey? Is that okay? Okay, perfect. So, Trey, you know, you were like, you know what, I'm going to teach myself how to tie a tie. What and why? Why did you want to wear ties? So, I don't want to say so soon, but what made you want to wear ties and teach yourself?
It was because I was on student government in my middle school. I wasn't elected, but I just put myself on there. So I just wanted to dress the part.
He was like, oh, I'm at the table. Right. You didn't invite me, but I'm here.
Yeah, so I just wanted to do that. So I went from clip-ons, but I didn't really like those. They weren't, you know.
They didn't fit right.
Yeah, so then I just wanted to upgrade and go to something better. So I started looking into ways to tie a tie.
How old were you when you started that?
Like 13 or 14.
Nice.
Yeah.
Major. That's a pivotal age, right? To do that. And I'm grateful that was your passion, right? To want to do that. And so how did we tie this together? You see what I did there, Justin?
I see that. Brilliant.
So how are we together? How does Trayvon Porter tie into 1,000 Ties, or how does his family legacy work?
So our whole program and our curriculum is based off of things that I see with him and his friends. Or things that I don't see. Let me say it that way. So whether that's the bro handshake instead of a proper handshake, or how to interact with their counterparts, or when it comes to dating or hygiene, and, you know, different things that I kind of picked up, and I'm like, these are things that our young men, they're missing. They don't teach them in school, and children come from different types of households, so everybody's not getting the same type of lessons and upbringing. And so it just led me to want to be able to fill those gaps and eliminate those barriers that stop them from everything, whether it's interviewing or jobs or socializing. I mean, sports. It's so many different things that come from lack of hygiene, or not being able to socialize, or not knowing how to hold a conversation. You miss out on many opportunities. And so that's what all of this is all about, eliminating those barriers for the young men.
Wow.
Well, what is some of the impact that you have seen the 1,000 Ties have on young men in Cleveland?
I think it's been massive. I'm a super humble person, but
no, that's
when
you brag. We need
you to brag. People need to know. Yeah. But a lot of people already know, but we need those people that don't know to know about 1,000 Ties. Yes.
Yeah, it's the emails, the calls that we get from parents saying, you know, how their child is coming home and they're being accountable, they're being respectful, or when you go into school and the teachers are like, wow, they came to program and then they kept their tie on and then they behaved like they had on a tie. Wow. So we're in 5 different school districts. So being able to watch our children go through the program. We've had 2 grades of students graduate and go off into the real world, and they come back and they'll email for job references, but they know how to interview. They know about kitchen safety. That's something Trey teaches. A lot of them, we teach chess. Trey teaches that as well.
Let's go,
So
Trey.
Trey teaches a lot of the curriculum, and so they are able to in turn come back and show us what, you know, they've accomplished. We have one young man, he's an international model now.
Wow. Listen.
He travels all over the world. When I say the world, I mean the world, modeling. And he was a mentor. He was actually on our board for a minute. He came back and was a part of the board so that he can share the experiences that he had to be able to help other people. I mean, our event, we're up to almost 800 people coming to the event. That's for families. So that's mothers, fathers, children, siblings, community partners. So we've given out probably over 40,000 ties to date. Wow. So the community donates them, and then we get those back. And so we are doing a lot in different areas. So whether it's in the community or in the schools.
We had to stop and give you a round of applause for
Let's
that.
go.
That is amazing work. So how long has 1,000 Ties been in existence?
We started in 2019.
Wow, all this work in just those few years. That is amazing. Amazing work.
Love that. So how can, I'm thinking about, you know, my little cousins and things like that, the little boys in my community and that I see, how are they placed into your program? Is it because you know their mother, you know their father, or are your programs in certain school districts? So is there an application process? Is there how does that work for a young man to get into 1,000 Ties?
So we have 2 different ways you could be a part of it. We have our community-based program that's free and open to young men all over Northeast Ohio. And so we have 2 age groups. We have our 8 to 12, and then we have our 13 to 17. And that program is free. The parents do the application on our website. And then we have our school-based program that works. It runs in 5 different schools. And so the middle school program is just straight mentoring. And so those are all boys, and Trayvon runs that program. And then in the high school level, it's life skills. So that's male and females. And so the schools bring us in for those students.
Wow. That's huge to have 2 avenues, right? So it's not only the pipeline, you know, from to school to prison. What is that pipeline? What do they call that? Something along those lines. Now you're creating a more positive, impactful, in a positive way, right, within our community, to go straight into victor and success and having a thriving life, not just surviving. So kudos to you for laying that groundwork and being a foundation and the blueprint for Trayvon here. So Trey, tell us about, you know, your experience with the young man and how do they respond to you? You know, you're like their peer in a sense. You know, I'm looking at you now. I know you're an adult, but you have such a youthfulness about you and you're very reserved. So I feel as if though you observe so much, but you have so much to give. So
yeah, I usually use my age to my advantage. I'm the youth coordinator, so I come up with the
youth coordinator,
different pathways to connect to the kids better. I'm usually like the big brother, so I can get conversations that Ms. Smith can't. So she'll step out, and then we'll have like deeper conversations, especially like with the mentoring group, with our community group. We go on a boys retreat every summer, and it's me, and I usually bring a couple of my friends in college, and we just talk about whatever. We play games, we eat, have fun. But yeah, I usually just use my age to help me out, help me connect better, because, and a big thing with us, we don't like to like talk down on them, and I understand what it was like to have presenters come in and they're real boring, or they stand in one place, or they're not interactive, or they're just talking at you, or you feel like they're talking and they're talking like a little kid. So I make sure that the conversations are more chill and mellow. And yeah, I like to observe a lot. So Ms. Smith usually starts, and then I'll come in like as we progress, like when we start doing chess and cooking and stuff like that. So I know what type of conversations to try to have with certain groups of children.
I love that so much.
That chess piece really excited me because I recently got into chess. And
did you?
Yeah. Oh, I love chess now. Like my wife always getting on me because I'm always playing on my phone, and she's like, "You're not even locked in. We're supposed to be watching a movie. We're supposed to be doing
He was
this."
just out in the waiting room playing chess.
Oh,
you on chess.com?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk, brother. We're gonna talk. That's exciting. How long you been playing chess for?
Okay, so I actually started the chess team at my middle school, which was Patrick Henry, when I was 12 years old. I watched the movie, and then I came back and talked to my principal about it, and she was like, if you can get enough people, I'll get the boards and I'll get us started. So I rounded up like 8 or 9 of my friends, went back, we started a team. She put us in the CMSD tournament. We won second place. Wow. But there was this one school on the west side. It's called Gallagher. Yeah. And they live and breathe chess. So it was, and they were very arrogant. And I'm competitive, so that didn't really go well with me. So I practiced the whole summer, and then we actually won first place. I went undefeated from 8th grade until my senior year of high school.
All right, well, just forget anything I said about I don't want no smoke. That sounds like that should be a Netflix movie, which you just described.
Yes,
you kind of glossed over some stuff, but like I want to go back to that because it seems like that's also in y'all family, like just the willingness to start something, like not being afraid. Hey, I see a gap here. I see something that's not happening, and why aren't we doing it? And so let's just do it. And so you advocated, you talked about it, and then you was able to lead something. And then, the story and, getting second place the first year and then coming back and win it all. I mean, that's an unbelievable story. So
he left out that he was actually scouted for high school for chess.
Wow.
Like people thought he got scouted for basketball because he's so big. He got scouted for chess.
Man, I love that.
We love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That needs to be highlighted, because a lot of our young men, right? They're like, I want to go for football. Like you talk about this a lot with basketball and sports and things like that. Let's use our minds, but that's not talked about and saying, hey, you have something special. Like Trey was just talking about, not talking down, right? Because when we talk good, when we talk prosperity and abundance to our young men and really even truly ourselves, right? A lot more can come from that versus the other side. So meeting people where they are, like Trey is talking about, being relaxed, eating some good food, right? Having some good fun. And so I love that so much. So that's awesome. Being scouted for chess.
Wow. Yeah.
Huge.
So far, we've discussed so much, but when we come back from this break, there's a lot more that we need to discuss because, our guest, she's kind of been, super humble, but there's a lot more to her.
Humble.
She's also a publicist, an author, and she's got some other things that we got to talk about when we come back. So, hey, stay tuned.
We'll be right back, you all. And we're back. FutureLand365. It's your girl, Nikki B.
And it's your boy, just Joseph in the building.
Right here on WOVU 95.9 in the building. We have Miss Jowan Smith and Mr. Trayvon Porter. We're learning so much.
So much.
Yes. Just because I'm big doesn't mean I have to use my mass. I can use my massive brain. Yeah. Okay?
I like that.
Listen.
I like that.
I love that, Trey. So I think Joseph wanted to get into some of he wanted to brag a little bit on Miss Jowan because she's not going to brag on herself. She's like, I'll let the work speak for itself. But just Joseph said, no, I am going to shout you out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We have all these books here.
Yeah, so I'm holding these books in my hand. Can you tell me what I'm looking at here? I got a couple of books in my hand.
So that's 4 of my 8 published titles. I have 8.
Grandma Hattie's Ice Cream.
Grandma Hattie's Ice Cream. That's my big one. That one just won an International Impact Award.
Whoa.
So I'll be going to Phoenix to receive that award. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's major.
Yeah, and it just released in Spanish. So now you can get it in English and Spanish.
And Spanish. Hello, dos.
Gracias, señorita.
And then Maya, that's my second really big book. The kids love that book because it's a play on Marsha. And so
yes, for those that know, you know.
Yeah, and so Maya gets out the baby gate, and so when I read it, it's real interactive. I let the kids read the Maya part, so they just
I know that is
sitting
the time.
there waiting for their opportunity to
Maya.
Yes, and usually the teachers will send me a message like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so tired of hearing Maya."
That's too funny. Well, now this is
that.
great, and the visuals are amazing. And I got a 2-year-old at home and a 8-month-year-old.
You can take that book.
Oh wow! No, I
they're
appreciate
gonna
it.
love
Yeah, they are. I'm gonna
that.
read it to them.
But you gotta let
cool.
them say the Maya
All
part.
right, cool. Definitely,
I love
I
that.
definitely will. No, that's
See,
inspiring.
she's a giver.
Yeah.
She's giving, that away. I love that so much. So, Joseph, you had some questions about for Miss Smith, as Trey was saying, Miss Smith. Like, boy, that's your mama.
He say it all the time. When we in the class, he'd be like, Miss Smith.
Right.
But I appreciate the professionalism and the respect. I love that. We have to separate church and state, right, Trey? Yeah. You was not my mama here.
Yes, I guess I just wanted to talk about a little bit as your journey as an author and how has that complemented your work and your business.
So I never planned to write books. Okay. That's the thing. If you would have told me 5 years ago that I would have 8 books, I would have laughed at you like, get out of here, I don't write books. Mm-hmm. But I interviewed Margaret Bernstein at the Great Lakes Author Expo. And so she actually flipped the interview on me. And so she's like, well, have you ever wrote a book? I'm like, Margaret, I don't write. Like, we're supposed to be talking about you. Let me get back to my questions. Right. And she's like, no, but have you ever journaled or anything? And so at the time I was doing my research for Getting Our Babies to College 101. And so how I did that is I would go on the college visits, and I took my grandson on a college visit. And so I just took notes about everything that he experienced on that tour. And so I was telling her that at the interview, and she's like, that's a book. And I'm like, Margaret, it's not a book. It's my notes. And she's like, it's a book, and I'm going to edit it, and you're going to publish it. And so that's how my first book, Zakari Goes to College, came about.
Wow.
And so after the first one, I was like, okay, that was cool, but I don't really consider myself an author. And then I started working on another book, and I kept dreaming about my grandmother making ice cream. She used to make ice cream in a wood churner.
Wow.
And I kept dreaming about it, and I'm looking at the books that my grandson had, and none of the books had characters of color. And so I'm like, we got 100 books and not one black or brown person in any of these books. And I kept dreaming about Grandma Hattie. And so I said, you know what? Okay, I got it. So I put the other book on pause. I never finished that book, by the way. But I went ahead and I did the Grandma Hattie's book, and it just took off. Wow. Like, that book is all over the country. Wow. Like, literally. I've sold so many of those books. And that book came out, I think, in 2021. Yeah. And it's still doing so well that I re-released it in Spanish. And it'll be re-released in another way soon. I'm not going to put it out there. But
she was like, you're going to have to wait for this one.
But it's like, after Grandma Hattie, I was like, wait a minute, maybe I am an author.
I got something here.
Like, maybe I am an author. And so my books will start coming to me in my dreams. So I call myself a dream writer. So when I dream, I get up in the morning, I'm usually up at like 2 or 3, and I'm typing. So that's how I start kicking out 2-3 books a year. And then I was like, all right, slow down, you're doing too much.
Wow.
I started, the first one came out in 2021. So all 8 of my books have come out since 2021.
Isn't that amazing how the Lord works?
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It's
like a floodgate, right? It'll come out like, what is it? Not raging waters, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? and when it happens, it's like the bamboo, right? Because we understand how the bamboo grows. It's under the soil for so long. It takes so long.
Right.
But when that thing hits the light, it shoots up. Yeah. And it's like, wow, this just happened. So
right. And it comes
amazing.
From lived experience. All of my characters are all real people. Maya's my granddaughter. So I always tell people, I always write about things that I know, because people call me like, oh, well, write about this. Well, I don't know that. So that's not my story. I can't write about that. You write about that.
Yeah.
And all of my characters are people of color. So my goal is to put everybody in my family in a book. Now, I'm a Moss. So if you know the Mosses, you know we are very, very large. So I'm trying to make sure I get everybody in the book. My little cousins always run up like, am I in a book yet? And I'm like, okay, because I put Aubrey and Grandma Hattie. So now all the rest of them are like, well, Aubrey's in a book.
Aww.
So now I have to make sure every Moss is in a book.
That's
truly
really cool.
A legacy.
Yeah,
Truly legacy.
I love this. So what themes and lessons, do you focus on in your books?
So I like to write about things our babies see and experience. So it's not a rare occasion when I'm doing a book reading for somebody to be like, oh, my sister name is Maya. Oh, my little sister took the toilet paper off the roll. Or like, so they're experiencing these things. And then each one of my books has some sort of lesson in the back. So if you look in the back of Maya, there's a list of ways to keep baby safe. In Zakari Goes to College, there's a list of local resources of how to prepare for college. Grandma Hattie's Ice Cream has an ice cream recipe in the back. A Very Moss Christmas has a ornament, so a child can draw and create their own Christmas ornament. So there's some sort of lesson or activity in the back of each book.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Trey, are we an author? Are we writing books? Like, not that legacy, not that part of it.
My strong suit is math and chess.
Yeah.
And cooking. I leave the writing to her.
I like it.
I love
you cook
that.
as well, huh? Oh, yeah, you said you was teaching a little bit of that as well.
I went to Tri-Cities Culinary School, so awesome. I do kitchen safety, because a lot of people don't know what salmonella is. They don't know that you're supposed to wash your hands. You're supposed to wash your knives after you switch from different things. So we do that.
Do you have to wash your chicken?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have to wash your chicken?
You don't be washing your chicken,
Nikki.
B? So I know whose house I ain't about to be eating
That's
that.
a hot topic. People was like, I don't wash my
Nikki.
chicken. I wash my chicken. Because I asked the question doesn't mean I don't
All
do
right,
it.
I was about to say,
I
we're
wash.
not going to Nikki
We were
house.
talking about kitchen safety. So some people were like, if you wash your chicken, it spreads. I'm just like, that doesn't make
No,
sense.
what we
You
avoiding
just
at
clean up.
Thanksgiving now. It's all
Right.
good, Nikki
I
B.
set
rocks
myself
with
up
you,
for
but
that one. I set myself
She don't
up.
be washing her chicken, y'all.
Can we get to the next question, please? Next question.
I'm posting that on your
Next
Facebook wall.
question. Nikki B said.
She don't wash her chicken, y'all.
I love it.
So Trey, tell us more about kitchen safety.
Then we do like knife skills. So we get like safety knives, and we teach them how to cut peppers and onions. I learned a couple ways that's supposed to keep your eyes from watering when you cut onions. So
Please share.
we always do that one. They say you're not supposed to cut the eye off of it, which is the bottom part,
Oh, okay.
and you should be good. So that usually works. And then we make like walking tacos or something like that.
Love
So
that.
that's usually one of their
Yeah,
favorite.
they love to cook.
Right.
They get free lunch.
Yeah, they get
The walking taco, that's something simple and easy that they can transfer into their adult lives as well. Yeah. So I
He
love
teaches
that.
them a struggle meal. So he also does, I think, what is it, like a chicken, rice, and pepper meal.
Yeah.
So he works with them on a meal under $20. So
Not
it's
anymore. but it was
financial
under
literacy wrapped in it. You don't
Oh,
do
you
it?
with
No, no.
inflation, huh?
Yeah,
Because
groceries-
that doesn't
groceries
work.
are more expensive, so
$50.
Yeah, chicken
might
that
have
with
to
it.
add a little bit more.
No, that's great. That's very much practical. I think a lot of people think that cooking at home is probably very expensive or it takes a lot of time, things like that. But it seems like it doesn't take a lot of time or, well, now maybe a little bit of money, but you can balance that out with the times and having a budget. Do you teach budgeting or anything like that too?
Yes, we do, and that's always a very funny workshop because
Is
a lot
it?
of kids
Why?
don't know how much stuff costs. We did a workshop a couple years ago, and we asked how much a gallon of milk was, and someone said $8.
It might be 8 now, but back
Right.
then it
Yeah,
wasn't
it
8.
definitely wasn't 8. So,
Eggs is 8.
Right.
so yeah, we give them like $200, and we give them the mailers you get, and then we say shop for a month. So
Is this Monopoly money? You give them $200 Monopoly money? Or?
no, we got it. It's off of like Amazon, so it looks kind
It
of
look
real.
real.
So
Oh,
They,
wow.
they always on
Yeah.
TikTok
Right, they
flashing.
flex
And I'm
on
like,
So you have to wait 5 minutes so they can take
Stop
your picture.
fanning the
and-
money.
Right. Pause for the TikTok, for
Yeah,
the
that's what's up,
pictures. That's
This is
huge.
awesome.
That's major.
It
Some
sounds
adults
like
need to take
it sounds like a lot of things that I wish I had access to growing up,
Same.
and it's just the real life principles, real life experience, and things that is really going to translate, because we learned so many things that just didn't translate, so I'm just applauding the work that you all do. How can somebody get involved in terms of supporting and further and helping you all further the mission?
Well, we're always looking for guest speakers. This year, what I've noticed in our high school program specifically is we have more girls. And so where I have this huge database of male volunteers, now I need my women to step up and come in and speak to them, because all of them are not going to go to college. All of them, so a lot of them have children. A lot of them have no idea what they're going to do. Some of them are homeless. And so I like for them to see everyday people that are living life that can kind of pour into them on different things and open their mind up to, what the possibilities are, because some of them feel like they don't have a baby. The options are, they don't have any options. Life is done. If they've been put out and they're homeless, like they feel like life is done. So if they can see women that are doing things that are powerful, that, feel like they can come and pour back into them, they love that. They appreciate it. They really, I would say every time someone comes, they always leave with a mentee. It never fails that they connect with somebody in there, because it maybe was something that child was thinking about, but nobody was available to talk to them about it. And so where I have specialties in what I do, I don't know everything. So I need other people to come and step up and, volunteer, come speak, spend some time with the girls when we're doing our activities. Come in and be a part of it. Like, we got robots coming up. That's our STEM activity that we do, and come in and help the kids put their robots together. We're teaching them how to read instructions, teaching them how to make sure when you're doing something, make sure you have all your pieces first, make sure, so we're teaching them things. For them, it seems like fun, but it's a life lesson.
Yes, it is. You're right. They can, because, y'all, okay, dang.
Put something together without reading the instructions.
And then take it back down, because I think I know it all, right? I'm so smart. I can do, well, I see the illustration. I got this. Like, this don't look right. So please, if you all are in that course, pay attention, read the directions, put all of your tools out first, all the things that you need. The same thing for cooking, right? Get all of your ingredients out first, chop the things up you need to chop up, mix the things you need. Don't just jump right in there. Don't be like me.
Race to the finish line.
But it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity for people to volunteer. So I hope our listeners, those who are tuned into this podcast, those who are tuned into this radio show, will connect with you, and that sounds even like a good opportunity for Nikki B to show up.
I was thinking the same, but I didn't want to say it on air, but I was just like, for sure.
Yeah.
Jowan,
I have
for
one
sure.
school, and I would say we have one boy. It's all females, and this is rare. We usually, if anything, it's like 50-50. I've never had a year where the full high school program is primarily girls.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on this year, but the boys, they're not there. So the girls are eager, and life is lifing for them. So we have to show up.
Yeah, and representation matters.
Yeah, they have to see. They, especially if you're in a school where none of the teachers look like them.
That's major right there.
Absolutely.
For sure. I definitely. Let me know how I can sign up, or you can reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to volunteer. So, Trey, how can people reach out to you, or is it the same pathway for?
Well, his push is more for his Chess with Trey that will be in the libraries. So I don't.
I have an Instagram page. It's Chess with Big Trey.
Okay.
So you can follow me there.
Oh yeah, I'm about to follow you, bro.
Communicate through there.
Okay.
I always need people to come out when I do lessons, or to, sit at a board and play people. And then when I do it, I like to tell people to have a conversation before and after the game, give compliments. I like to be positive, positive affirmations. Tell your opponent one great thing they did, and then something they could work on.
Awesome.
I like to use this game to show people it's more than just a game. It ties into life a lot, because it's a lot of strategy in it. You got to think about what this move will do, what it'll cost you, but what will it gain you. So I just like to tie it into life a lot.
Awesome.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge. Although I don't know how to play chess, but I've heard that so much, that chess and life are very, similar or symbolic. So
yeah, no, it really is. I mean, thinking ahead, also, being aware of what the opponent is doing, but also just, planning out your move. And then especially when you playing with time, which I love doing now because it forces you to, make the best decision with what you have. And, it's just a matter of reacting sometimes, but also, being aggressive and taking what's yours. So I love, getting into the chess community like more recently myself and just really seeing what I've been missing out upon because I come from a sports background, so my whole thing was to just make it through sports. And and a bad knock on a lot of athletes is we're not using our brains, we're just using our athleticism. But as I've gotten older, I realize your brain can take you way farther than your physicality can. So shout out to you both. We really appreciate you being here. We've learned so much, and we definitely want to stay connected with you all, and we appreciate you being a part of the FutureLand community.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
All right, so Trey, what key takeaways do you have?
Yeah, so for me, just really just inspired. What I took from both of these guests here is to be solution minded, to see the gaps that what is not being fulfilled, and saying, you know what, how can I step up to the plate and create something that is not just going to serve myself but serve others. And that's what they've done, and built careers off of that, and now are changing lives for other people. So I love the fact that they are not just doing what they're doing for themselves but for others. And if you have that mindset, you'll go really far.
I love that. Change your mindset, change your life.
Love it.
Right? So I love that so much. Thanks for sharing your key takeaways. So my key takeaways was this is a dynamic duo. And they are serving, impacting our community from the generation behind them so that generation can serve in front of them. So that is huge. That's big. I'm inspired. I love when our guests inspire us, Joseph. It's like it makes us better individuals, right?
Absolutely.
And these conversations are so needed, just like Miss Smith said, right? How she said it's important to have a blueprint, right? Someone who not exactly probably did it just like you. Was like, I can achieve this dream too, because her dreams have literally wrote books and is creating legacy and tying the ties within our community. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Trey, for following the right cat, or copying the right cat. Ooh, I like that one too. Copy the right cat, right? So that's so good. Thank you all so much. Again, I'm inspired. And being a problem solver, that's huge. I think a lot of times we are so complacent and complaining, right? Talking about all the issues, but we're not focusing on the solution. If we focus on the solution, guess what? We're going to find it. So Joseph, that is it.
That's it for today. I think this was a great show. I hope our guests have enjoyed it. And if you have, make sure you subscribe to all of our social medias, our Instagram, our X. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and run them likes up.
Get the
run
likes
them comments up.
Yes.
Make sure
like,
you
share, subscribe, all the things.
To www.futurelandcle.com and
drop your email.
Yeah.
So you keep up with all the events coming up, all the things.
We got a lot of good things happening with FutureLand. So make sure y'all join this community. Well, until next time, Nikki B, I guess we out of here.
We're out of here. That's it. That's all, you all. FutureLand365. It's your girl, Nikki B.
And it's just Joseph.
We are out.
Peace.
Moving on, Moving on, FutureLand, what's up? Yeah.